What's up, y'all? Take a moment, share the broadcast. What's up, Tom? What? Today is what?
Mary J. Black.
What's up, y'all? Take a moment, share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. Y'all been slipping on y'all shares. My share's been down. I haven't been promoting the share concept. Share the broadcast. Share the broadcast.
In the Best of Seven series, Game 6 is Sunday night in St. Louis. I'm Christopher Cruz.
Today is National Donut Day. Did you get a free donut? What? They didn't? Are you pulling up today? I got those. Practical walk kitchen. Practical. I love them.
It's all right. I'm gonna try up. I get a reputation, but I can walk.
Nice. You pulling up. See, I'm a pulling fan too. I'm a pulling fan.
Morning.
Queen Latifah and Common, I guess. Hello, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey there. He Nike up. What the hell's going on with y'all? My buddy over here is Nike up. He's like, hey, hold on a minute. Is he drinking?
No, germs.
So we got Nike up. Only say that to me if it's Michael Jackson's birthday. Happy birthday to you. I do Prince. Even though Prince beat him that much, he's off the chain, but I'll do Prince. Happy birthday to you. Happy Prince Day to you. I'm straight on Prince.
Well, damn. Happy birthday to him.
Right. Y'all better sing happy birthday when Michael Jackson comes around. Don't blow the place up.
You know this.
Right. I'm gonna blow this place up down here.
Oh my
Happy
God.
birthday to my homeboy.
I miss my man, man. When he say Michael, some people be crying.
How y'all feeling this morning? Take a moment, share the broadcast, and share the broadcast. I'm gonna go to home. Let's go home. Take a moment, share the broadcast, share the broadcast, share the broadcast. Take a moment, share the broadcast.
All right. Take a moment, share the broadcast. Share the broadcast and share the broadcast. We are ready to rock and roll. Ready to rock and roll. Hey guys, I want to encourage you to save the date, August 16th and 17th. The Jacksons, the DeVoes, the Laytons will be hosting our couples, Married for Life couples walk. Todd, we'd love to have you and your wife join us as well. Look, y'all, Todd got the fresh cut on. We got the fresh cut today.
Yes, I'm a new man. I'm a new man today.
Do you know it feels, you know what, a haircut?
I would have got a shave, except I didn't need one.
Tell you what,
But it's kind of nice to have somebody else shave me.
you know what, to have a haircut, you can have a haircut. Let me do it right. Okay. So a haircut, a shave, couple $100 in your pocket in the car wash, and you can feel like a brand new man.
What time does the couple walk start? You said the 16th?
Mm-hmm.
That's a
17th.
Okay.
The walk is the 17th.
Oh, okay.
It's a 5K.
I could do that.
So, couples walk. Looking forward to that. It's actually a weekend, so we'll have a VIP reception at one of Chicago's most exclusive private penthouses the day before, with a time for couples to sit by the pool in the fireplace overlooking some of Chicago's greatest views, while we will have discussions on life, love, and marriage. Followed up with a
Rise and shine with the WVON Morning Show.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Featuring Maze Jackson.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
The WVON.
what up, Deborah? What up, Carol?
Wake up!
What up, Corey Mack? What up, Carol R. Muhammad? What up, Eddie Lakes? What up, Melvin Griffin? What up, Alvin E. Norton? What up, Double J? Double J, I see you later on today. What up to my beautiful, lovely wife, President Steele? The truck is in the garage. The truck is in the garage and loaded. Bueller. Sorry I couldn't be at Liz's party yesterday. Unfortunately, I and Bureau don't do well together. Sydney, Marcel, James Shotwell, T. Renee, but I am going to call Liz today because she was a great person. Get ready. Let's do this, y'all. Let's get ready. Matter of fact, tell her to tune in and we'll give her a shout out today. No. What up, Alonzo Johnson? What up, Ron Boyd? What up? Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world! This is the WVON Morning Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host Todd Stroger in the building. Todd, how you feeling, my brother?
Great this morning.
Todd, you looking fresh, dressed like $1,000,000. You got a shave, a haircut, man. You got your mustache. You got a date. You got a hot date tonight. What? You got a hot date, man?
Yeah, a hot date with trying to do more business.
You know what? A hot date with doing more business. All right, well, that ain't nothing wrong with that, Todd. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Well, look, let me say, I just said this before we got on. You want to make a brother feel good. You know what? And I don't even think you got to have $200 in your pocket. I think on the days when I used to not have very much money in my pocket, I would go get a car wash and a haircut and feel like $1,000,000. Get a shiny car, got your hair cut, turn your music on, and on a Friday, Todd, you already ready for Friday.
I'm ready.
You know what? What you do? You know what? You might have to come. You and the wife, or you and Claire might have to come kick it with us tonight, man. We got a big old gala event.
Claire's 15. She can't go nowhere.
Oh, she can go. She can go. We can go to the. I'm going to the Project Hood gala. So I'm gonna tell you, it is a really, really nice time. Every year we go. Myself and Joe Walsh will be doing the silent auction. So if any of the morning show team wants to go with us tonight, let me know. But I'm telling y'all, it is a good time. It is a good time. They got a DJ. I'm gonna tell you, all the rich white. Corey Brooks got all the rich white people. All the rich white people, and they be like, man. Can we please, they be like, can we meet some of the black people that we donate to? I'm going to tell you, it is one of those moments. All the big willies are at this
He's
thing.
hanging out with the right group, huh?
You know what? I'm going to tell y'all what. Everybody tried to hate on Corey. But I'm going to tell you, Corey, he has kept on trooping. As a matter of fact, he's going to stop in today and talk to us a little bit about his gala tonight. But we got a big action-packed show, so let me do this. Let's get the WVON, let's get the soul plane up in the air. Let's get through these headlines. We got some things I want to talk about because I'm telling you, after yesterday's show, the phones were ringing off the hook. We got to talk about it. Willie Wilson's got some stuff going on, so let's do this. Let's say what's up to everybody. Annette Flournoy in the newsroom. Can I tell y'all what? I want to thank you, Annette, yesterday for your using your journalistic knowledge to show me how to kind of create a news moment yesterday. Because I'm going to tell you, yesterday's topics, I'm going to tell y'all, Annette came out and she said, now look, you got to do it right, Maze. I know, put the coffee down and get the questions out right. And yesterday, I'm going to tell you, I think that was so eye-opening for so many people. Thank you for that guidance yesterday.
I just appreciate you acknowledging that, but you need my help or nobody's help because that was awesome yesterday. But I woke up in the middle of the night last night and the TV was on and I was watching this wacky little stupid movie that had me laughing out loud. Little Man, Marlon Wayans movie.
I've never watched a Wayans movie in my life.
I know that one, but...
You weren't in it, were you?
Okay, good job.
That was so weird looking, and he was a bandit, he was a jewel thief, and they found this little baby. Kerry Washington is the mother, Sean Wayans is the father, and the baby is Marlon. And so the bandits leave him in the basket because they want access inside the home to recover the diamond that they dropped into Kerry Washington's purse during the heist. But anyway, they take this baby to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So the doctor's kind of examining the baby like, wow, this is a weird, freaky little baby man thing. And he goes, well, I'm just looking at his dental work. I can't tell if his teeth are growing again or falling out. I'm like, okay. So we had a good laugh.
And what?
But that was a crazy, stupid movie.
I have not. Little Man, I'm going to have to check that out. Todd, you said you saw it?
I saw some of it.
Okay.
It was a little campier than what I was looking for at that time.
Campier. You got such great words.
That's pretty much it.
Is it like Bad Santa?
No, because it's not quite as foul.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Daddy Daycare was actually good though.
I
love the Wayans, and I think they've done.
I have never seen a
they've
Sean.
done everything.
I've never seen a Sean and Marlon.
One of those stupid laughs, like if you catch the Beverly Hillbillies.
Is that like?
Those good laughs that all something really goofy and stupid, and it was just fun.
You know what? I'm gonna have to check that out. You know what? Maybe late at night, one of these days, I'll have to catch
White
it.
Chicks is probably funnier, I bet.
It should have won an Oscar. All right.
White Chicks.
Oh my God. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I felt like the Wayans brother, the twins. I felt like they were kind of like minstrelly. So I never really I never even saw a show. I never even saw an episode of the show on TV when they had that series that everybody watched.
I watched it.
Yeah. I never saw one episode. I've never seen one episode.
Did you like living in South Central while drinking?
No, I didn't watch that either. I don't watch any
That
of
was kind
those.
of a good parable.
I don't like any of those parody movies. I like, especially after, you know, the boys in the. Nah, I just don't do any of that. Yeah, okay. Pioneer these. Pioneer these. All right. So look, that other voice you hear in the background are the Wonder Twins, Sonia Escobar and Sonia Tompkins. Wonder Twins, what's going on this morning? How are you ladies feeling? I don't know what that is. I'm sorry, but I know this. I know that it is time for us. We are now about to hit 50,000 feet. Get the gas. Let's get this soul plane up in the air. You guys, we got so much to talk about. Look, we got Ron Holt coming in, father of Blair Holt, former police commander. He's going to be talking about the role of gangs in Chicago violence. And I'm going to tell you, he is unbridled, uncuffed. He don't have no uniform, so he's going to tell it like a T.I. is. We've also got Tom Vandenberg coming in. Tom is a guy I met a while ago, Mothers Against Guns. You'd be like, Tom? Mothers Against Guns? And this was all before the whole, LGBT thing. So Tom lost a son to gun violence and took it up and made it an issue. He's going to be here to talk about Fix the Void bill. Now, y'all know Quasey is my man. He's going to be here. Plus, we've got Exum, Anton Exum. He is from the San Francisco 49ers. He has also got some new music out, so we'll be talking to him. Plus, y'all, Todd Ricketts. Todd Ricketts is coming on. You saw the controversy about everything going on. I called and said, could I come to that party? Y'all talk that mess if you want to. It's some money in town today. We're going to talk about it all. But look, let's get this thing to 50,000 feet. We are out of here. It's the WVON Morning Show. We'll be back after traffic and the weather.
More of the morning show with Ladies Jack.
Good. All right. We got an action-packed show. Plus, Big O is supposed to be here. Todd, you got the camera for right now?
Yeah, it is action-packed. Holy moly. There's a lot of people coming in. I gotta move stuff around. Make sure that I got enough space. Big O takes up like space of a man and a half right off the bat. Like, man, give me some elbow room. Because that's how I treat Big O. But, yes. That's a lot of people talking about lots of stuff. Share the broadcast. Oh, man.
Okay, so do you all want to go? Sonia's already going. Do you want to go to the project, to the gala? It's nice.
This Project Hood Gala sounds pretty cool. The only problem is that I have to find something to wear.
You just gotta wear a dress. You ain't gotta be like
No, he just told Sonia she just has to wear a dress. I ain't got that. I gotta find a suit that would actually fit me now. Either that or work out, and that's not gonna work in 5 hours or so.
Well, I'm telling you now, it's a good ass bar. Drinks be good. 7 o'clock.
Man, I wonder if I can get the wife to go. That would be nice. Get out of the house. Meet some new white people. We did meet Cory Booker in Dallas.
Okay, so then that's okay.
You have to be staying in the same hotel. Like, hey, we know you walking across the USA, right?
Oh, but Todd, you want to go to the gala tonight?
Man, I would like to.
Project, I'm gonna tell you.
Get my wife to go, but man, she's a tough one to get out the house.
I'm telling you, some
Really?
good. It's at the theater on Lakeshore Theater. That place on it's like 2400 North on Lakeshore Drive. It's either Fullerton or one of those, but you get off and it's super nice.
Right off the drive, that's cool.
Yeah.
Easy to get to.
Huh? It's super easy to get to, and it's a good. Cory has a really nice gala, a very nice gala.
Bet.
It's really man, last year, I think I raised like $75,000 on the. I need to look at the paddle raise this time. So Joe Walsh and I do the auction. Y'all should come out tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Let me try to get the wife to come with me.
Okay, we'll text her and
Maybe
find
I'll
out.
bring Hans.
Huh? Get some mixing. Huh? These dang millennials.
Yeah, exactly. Wake up!
Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more backwards thinking. Time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. Man, can I tell y'all one more time, Alderman Burnett does it again. Did anybody see that the Louis Vuitton pop-up is opening up in the 27th Ward. Can I tell you? I know everybody gonna be talking crazy, but
I don't buy that stuff. But that's still pretty cool because there are people.
Look at it. Here's the store. It's orange. They painted the store orange, like that bright orange, smack dab in the middle of the block. They already got the PR, the value for it, the PR value for it. But when you go inside, man, if y'all go inside, when y'all see the pictures, I'm telling y'all. It's bananas inside. And what's so crazy is the inside, the outside, and the layout and design of all of it is by a black architect from Chicago, right? So the concept for the outside, the concept for the inside, and I'm telling y'all, when y'all go inside, you're gonna be like, holy shit, it's like an ode to black people.
Ode to black people.
They can't afford shit in there. It's the ode to black people. You shouldn't be. Look, I saw yesterday.
If I go, I'm just going for the parade. I walk around.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, you gonna go and take all the pictures because it's so crazy inside. When I tell you it's crazy inside, it's crazy inside, and all of the design. So it's done because the new designer for Louis Vuitton is a black man from Chicago too. So the girl who did the whole concept, layout, design, the architecture and construction is a black architect from Chicago, a sister. And then all of the work that's being featured is a black dude from Chicago. It's really pretty freaking awesome.
I like that.
Completely everything you want, I'll be. Good love down to the last drop. And I am not gonna stop. Say I'm loving you every day. Don't you look no more, love without a limit. Then follow me, I'm loving you every day. Don't you look no more, love without a limit. You know. You are tuned into the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. Y'all know June is Black Music Month, and today WVON continues to celebrate Black Music Month, highlighting the musical legacy of the queen of hip-hop, Mary J. Blige. I'm gonna tell y'all what, I can't wait. I love Mary J. Blige, but you know what? I do not like when Mary J. Blige is happy. Her music is just not the same when she's in a good space.
Oh, you mean she's like Bobby Womack?
She needs pain. We need her pain. It is her pain that makes us reach out to her. Okay. All right, y'all. So look, we got so much going on. Did I say this out loud? Shout out to Alderman Walter Burnett, 27th Ward. Once again, the Louis Vuitton pop-up is opening up in the 27th Ward. The pop-up is tomorrow. Black parents, I would encourage you to stop by, if for no other reason than just to see the artwork, layout, and design. What is really cool about the Louis Vuitton pop-up store is that the architecture, the layout, design, and everything inside of it and outside of it was done by a black female architect from Chicago. And then all of the designs inside featured are from a black designer man, Virgil, from Chicago. So I know you, when you say, Maze, what's in it for the black people with the Louis Vuitton store, it is great to see, while a lot of fashion houses were trying to play catch up, it was great to see one of our own, or two of our own, actually in the forefront of this project. So, and also it was pretty cool because Alderman Burnett made sure that they bring local black kids from the community to get exclusive opportunity to see the store. So, they say you can't see it, you can't be it. Who thinks that, man, yesterday, Todd, we were in there, $15,000 bag. $15,000. The brother designed it. I was like, make all the white people buy it. Because if I catch any of y'all, let me stop. 15. You should have seen the speaker case. Woo. All right, let me stop. All right, let's.
Can I get home equity loan to buy that.
I was just thinking about it. If I see somebody with that bag, though, they got LED Louis Vuitton signs. It was crazy. But I'm just telling you, just for our children's imagination, and when you see the artwork that's inside of there, it is really an ode to black people, so I want y'all to check it out. All right, shout out to Mayor Lori Lightfoot. She is out in Los Angeles, in Palm Beach, tapping into the Gay Donor Network. Did y'all hear about that? The Gay Donor Network. That's not something I made up. That's what they have in the paper. Gay Donor Network.
You say you didn't make it up.
Right, because you know they'd be calling me homophobic if I say it. But the Gay Donor Network, she's going to get money. Because remember I told you she can be... This is another one of our challenges. The Gay Donor Network has a lot of money. And it means that this is why you got to be careful about these reforms and all of this fundraising ethics reform, because when you see people trying to cut everyone else's fundraising opportunities, that means they usually have a source somewhere else. Aha! And so we're going to talk about that, because y'all got to watch the underlay for the overplay. I'm seeing so much going on. It's just like, ooh, I feel like somebody white is like, we could decimate all the black people.
It's like
right
when
now.
they were doing ethics reform in Springfield, and they were like, okay, so now the legislators can't have things, can't do this, can't do that, but the leaders can do this.
Right.
Yeah.
No, the legislators can no longer collect money, but they can get money from the leaders who, you know what, see. All right. Speaking of legislators, did you know that your legislator got between, if your state rep got between $2.5 and $3 million, and that your state senator got between $5 and $6 million for special projects? They call them member initiatives. Some people, the good old days, back to Rod Blagojevich era.
That predates him. I had member initiatives under George Ryan.
Well, member initiatives is usually what they use to get you to vote for this. So when you ask how they spend how'd they get all of these people to vote on the $4 billion capital bill? Well, that's because they promised them all these monies and stuff. Now, I'm not tripping on that at all, but I do think that every state rep better put a list up at their office and probably be on some town hall meetings explaining who got the $2.5 million or the $3 million, right? So it seems like to me...
That's a lot of money.
Exactly.
Man,
Which,
back in my day, you
get a couple $100,000.
Well, $300,000 if you're a regular person, and if you're on a pro, then you got double, $600.
So think about this: your state legislator sent a list of projects in. So you want to figure out what is happening in your neighborhood. So when they come home, they're home now. Session is over. They are all at these press conferences signing these bills that are going to cost us a lot of money. They all got between $2.5 and $5 million. Senators got between 5 and 6. Legislators got between $2.5 and $3 million. How many people have sent out a notice or said these are the projects?
Well, your verbiage is a little off. You don't actually get the money.
You get to allocate.
You get to allocate money for projects.
Okay, so that's what I mean. Where did that money go as far as which projects? So what streets? So does that mean that 95th will look as good as it does from Ashland West as it does from Ashland going east?
But that's different, though. Generally, I'm kind of guessing from what I remember, but since that's like the Department of Transportation,
they got an allocation too.
No, but it's not the allocation part. The part is getting them to do it in the time that you want them to, because they would come to there eventually, but they got this big old timetable. We're going over here. So now you got to force them to do it when you want.
Got it. Well, I want to know what were the member initiatives per district, per senatorial district, and per representative district in the black areas. I want to see a list of the projects of the funding. Now, I'm going to go check out the Senate bill because a lot of them are in there, but I know that what I want to understand is, how does a charter school in Mike Madigan's area get $31 million for a high school, and Chicago State gets 15?
They built it from the ground up.
Look, but they got $31 million compared to Chicago State, a university, getting $15.8 million. Look, man, and even if they got $30 million, our college gets $30 million. Their high school gets $30 million.
No,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
we be getting slapped around in this mug, and it'd be like, we won. We ain't win. You know what? We need to get the Kang on the phone and ask
And
him.
you know what? Not if and I could be wrong, but I think a lot of that is capital dollars, and there are parts of Chicago State that were falling apart. So that's just fixing it.
Okay, we'll talk about more when we come back. Look, y'all talk Chicago 1690.
Hate to put a pin in the bubble
What, bubble?
of getting money.
Oh,
You know? It's not expanding anything. It's just trying to make sure that things still run.
well, think about, for the school of whatever that Madigan got, they got $31 million. Chicago State is getting $3 million a year. They getting 30. These are the same people that gave $120 million to build new schools. Look, y'all, we be getting body slammed.
Yeah, maybe sometimes the problem is we don't know what to ask for. I don't know, because that just does. Yeah, I mean, I thought, I always think that Chicago State should be on everybody's radar. Everybody on the South Side, they should be pushing for real money for Chicago State. Especially, like we were also, when they spend real money, then real money should be given to Chicago State. They like Chicago State to be the school of last resort. You guys can go, and it doesn't have to have a great credit rating or anything like that. Just go to school if you want. but man, it could be so much more if we just put a little more effort in it. Like I always say, Chicago State's got an endowment of $5 million. $5 million. I have confidence that Mays could raise $5 million in 2 years. If pressed, he'd have more than they have. So there's something wrong with this picture. But hey,
Which number you want me to give Todd to call into? Ask her what number you want me to give Todd Ricketts to call. What number do you want me to give Todd Ricketts to call? The 888 or the 763?
You know what, though? Because when we end, just to make sure that we end, give him the other one because Exhume, whatever his name is going to be on the 888. So just in case, give him another.
loving every minute.
She's there for a fundraiser for retired California Senator Barbara Boxer, and also plans to spend some time with
I wonder what Barbara Boxer needs a fundraiser for. She's rich.
Cause she ain't spending her money. Shit, that's how you stay
That's
rich.
how she stays rich.
What you thought? Y'all, I'm just telling y'all now, yesterday's interview was enlightening. I'm just telling you, I got so many phone calls about that. Speaking of that, Sonya, we need to get up.
Award winner Lionel Richie will make his debut performance at Ravinia on Tuesday, June 11th and Wednesday, June 12th, singing all of the hits
Every
that
day.
have made him one of the world's best-selling artists of all time. Be there when he sings some of his fans' favorites, like Running with the Night, Stuck on You, Penny Lover, Hello, Truly, and Zoom, just to name a few. Tickets are on sale now to see Lionel Richie's debut performance Under the Stars, June 11th and 12th at Ravinia. Pavilion seats are limited, or enjoy the concert on the lawn. Visit ravinia.org for best tickets. Nobody does summer like Ravinia.
It's that time of year again. It's the 9th annual Taste of WVON, Saturday, July 20th. And this year, we're on the beautiful campus of Chicago State University. If you are a food vendor and would like to display your goods and services in front of more than 45,000 people, call us at 773-336-3456. That's 773-336-3456.
Prince Rogers Nelson, the artist known as Prince, is legendary for his dance moves on stage. Pretty predictable, perhaps, for a kid that was a dance student in high school. But Prince had some athletic moves too. Which sport did he make those moves in? Was it A, baseball, B, basketball, C, football, D, all three? Time's up. While at Central High School in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Prince played baseball, basketball, and football. If you said D, all three, you're absolutely right. AARP celebrates Black Music Month. Keep listening for more Black Music Makers Minutes, only on this station. This traffic report is brought to you by Wyndham Hotels and Resorts. With more than 6,000 hotels across the country, including La Quinta, Days Inn, and Super 8, a great hotel by Wyndham is closer than you think. Find one near you and book direct at wyndhamhotels.com.
WVON, traffic and weather, now.
Hazel Crest is a pretty serious accident involving a motorcycle right next to the highway at the Lexington Tollway. Also on the west coast, there's a crash at the intersection of Jackson. Taking a look at your travel times now, 25 Fifth Street to downtown, Mission Point, and the City Avenue Memorial, both in 20-minute increments. You're looking at just shy of an hour now on the Stevenson from I-55 to the I-30 north. Just 36 minutes away now. Kennedy to keep up fast. 36 minutes around the whole town We're seeing a mix of clouds and sun. The National Weather Service says widespread fall this morning. Then it's going to turn sunny as temperatures rise to 60. Cloudy tonight. Mostly sunny. Temperatures might be close to 70. Currently 55. 55 in Midway and 55 here at the top of Chicago. That's all the traffic with it. I'm at the top of Chicago, 69.
WVON lineup, chat room, blogs, photos, podcasts, and more on the World Wide Web at WVON.com. It's time for WVON social media question of the day.
What up, y'all? Take a moment, share the broadcast, share the thing. I'm feeling sad and blue. You brighten up my days in your own special way. We're all around for feeling down. On you I can depend. You take me away from the things and you bring me paradise. Without more these days, you bring sunshine in my life. Never return to me. That's the first time I saw your face. We'll fall so deep in love that your love can't be replaced. You are my. You are tuned into the Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, in the building. Todd, it's time for the social media question of the day. And you know what? Yesterday's conversation with Dr. Willie Wilson I'm going to tell you, it had the political class buzzing. Speaking of Dr. Wilson, I got a press release saying that Dr. Wilson and his PAC will be holding a press conference today blasting Governor J.B. Pritzker for this new deal, suggesting that we have all been played. Looks like he's going to be stepping back in the arena, not going away. But speaking of the arena, Todd, as Mayor Lightfoot continues to use her quote-unquote mandate to impose her will on the city council, I'm starting to wonder if she may be going a bit too far. And are we potentially cheering for our own demise? I'm going to just give you a few examples. The city council clap. The city council clap when we saw it initially, we all laughed and was like, ha 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 ha, and we was screaming and yelling at the top of our lungs, cause it was, oh, dance, I say. You know, remember when he used to pull out the guns and shoot at the feet and they'd be like, dance, I say. And I think after so many years, we felt good about seeing kind of the aldermen get a little check. Some people did. Then we saw, but I'm going to say that looking back, hindsight being 2020, I think that the aldermanic forced clap in the inauguration was a bad move. I think long term, we're going to look at that.
Long term?
Well, you say right now. Well, I say though, but it's starting to create a narrative that I think people who thought maybe they should go along should give this mayor an opportunity. I think they it was kind of like, that was like a I told you so moment. Like, I know after she did that, a lot of people went to her floor leader like, hey, Joe, what's going on? What's going on? So I think that was the first one. Then the Ed Burke beatdown. Now, I'm going to tell you, everybody that I know enjoyed the Ed Burke beatdown. I think it's so many times that so many people have seen Ed Burke belittle someone, use those prosaic, flowery words, or people just like, well, you know, we had here, people still ain't forgave him for Harold.
No,
right? Or baby T or any of those things. So I think the Ed Burke thing, she kind of got away with it from the public perception. But I do think, again, other aldermen were looking like, whoa, that's not the way to play it. Then the selective, have you seen now oh, wait a minute, let me go into the Anthony Beale emasculation. Now, I'm going to say the Anthony Beale emasculation was, the more and more I look at it, and I really think you got to take personality out of it. I think that sometimes some people don't necessarily care for Alderman Beale's style, but when you think about Mayor Lightfoot saying initially in the press she wanted the council to organize itself, why did Anthony Beale get in trouble for organizing what should be a co-equal branch of government, right? Because the council is not really is not a subject to the mayor. The council and the mayor must work together. Now, we have a warped sense of it, and you all say you don't want to right. But they say that, so everybody say they don't want to warp a rubber stamp city council, and then when the city council gets rubber stamped, then they clap. And again, we're clapping now, but we don't know how these policies will affect us in a year when y'all clap and y'all cut everybody's cojones. All right. Now, let's then move to the Elsie attack, right? Now, there's probably no body in the black community that has done more and helped more black elected officials directly than Elsie. She joined in with a white newspaper guy and piled in. You got the clip? Go ahead.
You questioned the relationship between City Hall and Eastlake Management.
Yes.
And its principal, Elsie, I Love Rich Daly Higginbottom, who is now, I think, now an investor, a big-time publisher of...
Sometimes the reader.
Right, and that's, isn't it perfect? The reader, the intersectional highways, I call it. What do you make of it now? What do you see? Do you see Elsie? Do you see him? Does he say, hi, Mayor, I'm really sorry that I called Rich and complained about you?
I haven't gotten that apology. I do see him from time to time, but usually across the room. And usually when we make eye contact, he goes in a different direction.
Now stop right there. Let me just stop right there. Why, like, so you jump on to emasculate the black man with the white guy, we gonna have a party and talk about the black dude?
Right. Let's pick the as you said, the black man who does a lot, who is powerful, and let's see if we can cut him down at the knees.
Let's cut his too. So now, then you add on now that she's proposing these ethics reforms, quote unquote. One ethic reform saying that aldermen should not have outside employment unless you're one of her aldermen. Because how do you explain that some aldermen should be able to work, but some aldermen can't? Like, so Tom Tunney, because he bakes Ann Sather rolls, he should be able to keep his job in his business. So we're not going to act like nobody ever goes, no lobbyist ever goes to Ann Sather's and buys cases of donuts or cases of those rolls. It ain't that dang good. Right? But so, and to hear Michelle Smith, a white North Side alderman who's already independently wealthy, then talking about the opportunity, saying, well, Tom Tunney's job is not a problem, right? Don't worry about that one. Then I listen to, but then she wants to cut the lawyers, etc. Now, if it's all employment, then it's all employment. You can't pick and say, oh, well, this guy's job is good, but this guy's not. Because I think that's subjective. Now, then you add to the fact that she is also suggesting that nonprofits, preachers, etc. have to register as lobbyists. Think about that. So now if you own a business in your neighborhood, or you own something in your neighborhood and you want to go talk to your alderman, or you are a pastor in your neighborhood, you have to now go register as a lobbyist.
Now wait a minute. Now remember, now this is all something that they proposed.
So here's my point. Because she's gonna demand. Remember, she turned around and said, "Clap, dance." Now she's putting out these ordinances that are subjective, and she's saying, and so now you got 20 black aldermen who are watching themselves get slapped around. Now I'm gonna take out the new ones. I'm gonna take out 3, but the 17 that were there are now 17 people started. Some people was like, man, I don't know, and then they started going along. Then I just want to point out one more thing. She said that she did not want aldermanic privilege, but then told the developer of the Center 1 property that he disrespected the local elected officials. So now wait, that being Alderman Pat Dow. So wait a minute. So you're against aldermanic privilege for who? Now here's my question. Is Mayor Lightfoot setting herself up for Council Wars 2020? See, Todd, you said that's the thing. You said they're proposed. If you look at the track record right now, in the first 2 weeks, why is any alderman now saying I need to go along? Because it seems like everybody that went along, black, has been crossed. Let's talk about it when we come back. It's Talk Chicago 1690. We'll be back.
Aldermen will have a voice, but not a veto.
More of the morning show.
So who gets the veto?
The department, which would basically mean the mayor.
Which would mean that...
Because the mayor points the heads, and they're not going to do anything without the mayor's blessing. This is really just more of a centralization of services, which the executive always likes, because the executive appoints the people who run the departments. So it's just more power in their thing. That's why I'm not for it. That's my mantra. Every mayor has too much power, at least in Chicago, and we shouldn't be saying, let's give them some more things that they can control. It's funny, Dick Simpson, who I know is one of her advisors, was all against Mayor Daley, the first Mayor Daley. And why? Because his power was, seemed like it was endless. If he said it, it happened. And now in this mayor, though, they're looking at her as being just as he was. They want her to be all powerful. Like May said, this system wasn't designed, and actually in America, I don't think there's any system designed where one person comes in and runs roughshod over everybody else. Either you want your elected officials to think, give careful deliberation, and come with an answer to what the problems are, or what the solution someone brings forth, or you want them to just say, yes, mayor, and why even show up? So I'm with you. There needs to be a division of power. The aldermen should know what their role is and actually do their role. And they got in my opinion, they got off to a bad start because they didn't
Organize themselves.
Right. I know 50 people is a lot, but they could have organized themselves and said, all right, we're ready to do the work of the people. And then she could devise what she wanted and send it through the committees and all that stuff. Texas is different than Illinois. Texas has a lieutenant governor who actually has some responsibility in the Constitution. So in Texas, the lieutenant governor appoints all the heads of the Senate committees. So that puts him or her in the mix. So I say that to say the reason that the lieutenant governor has that ability is because that makes the lieutenant governor powerful all of a sudden. Because he can say, you know what, this Democrat has been good to us. He's going to be the chairman of some small committee or something. Yeah, sometimes that stuff becomes more regional than it does party. But that's the same thing that's happening here, where they acquiesced their power and said, we want to make you more powerful, but not just more powerful. We want to give you more dominion over our group. Instead of us using what we're supposed to use for ourselves to help our wards, we're going to give it to you and bow down at your knees and hope you don't cut our heads off.
And what you've seen is that she cuts the heads of her. She has, who are the black people left? I mean, it's like, I'm saying like, so my thing is she took the John Cass bait. I expect John Cass to John Cass, right? He gonna do it.
Right.
You know he gonna do it.
That's what he does.
But you don't play into it, and you don't get on TV and radio talking about a black man with a white man. But if you don't understand that, there's a disconnect. I'm saying that everybody that I've seen her be with her, how has that worked out for them? And if you told me to 11 years. Well, I'm not going good. It's actually at 39th and Persia. And it's called Truth. Dick in your mouth! Cause you're not worth my tears. Well, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna shed no tears. Well, I'm not gonna cry all at the time. Cause you're not worth my tears. You are tuned in to Talk Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroldrin. Todd, we are asking the social media question of the day. You know why we ain't got no phone calls?
Why?
You know, because I didn't get a number, so you said 312-374-8130. Now, brother, how you gonna call me when I'm on the air? Don't call me when I'm on the air. Like, sometimes people kill me, man. All right, it's the WVON Morning Show asking the social media question of the day. Is Mayor Lightfoot setting herself up for Council Wars 2020? 312-374-8130. Give us a call, 312-374-8130. I'm going to tell you, Todd, that somebody told me I'm going to probably be in trouble with Mayor Lightfoot because of what I'm talking about. But I feel like, why am I in trouble?
That's funny. I kind of feel that the same way.
You feel like I'm going to be in trouble?
Oh, I wasn't just thinking of you.
Us?
I hate to say that I was thinking of personally. I'm sorry, Maze. I wasn't thinking about you in this. I was thinking about me.
It's the stuff you should. You should.
But yeah, I mean, I just feel that they are very
vindictive.
Well, it's too early to say that, but I'll say that they seem to be a little soft-skinned. Is that the word?
Thin-skinned?
Thin-skinned right now. Yes.
I think that if she thinks that this is okay. So here's the problem, y'all. The problem is that they don't make friends early. You have a group. So here's where Mayor Lightfoot is about to wind up being. She is listening to a lot of white people who don't have South and West Side black friends. And I keep asking, who is her black person? See, I feel like she is living in a very comfortable world where it's very easy to point fingers and say, you people and XYZ, but she's going to have to get down and dirty. And I don't know if she's doing very much to build allies.
Well, look, from my dealings with the Northsiders, there, and this is the feeling I got, there was a lot of, we don't trust the South Side and West Side guys. They are out to for
rape, rob, and pillage the land.
In a way, that's exactly right. And thank you for throwing that in there, because that's really what it was. That's how it seemed like they felt. That they understood how the process would work, but we were just out to see if somebody could be employed, and that was just about it.
Man, and you know what? It's funny. I had a conversation with Mike Quigley. I know you don't like Mike Quigley. I had a conversation with Mike Quigley.
Did I say that? No, I did.
You have said it on numerous occasions.
Yeah.
But I was in the airport with him. We were flying back from Arizona.
Did I tell you my Mike Quigley story?
No.
So my niece is living with us, and she's dancing up north, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is like, I don't know, 2009 or something. We go up and we sit in the little stands, and as the dance and stuff's going on, I noticed Mike Quigley is like right down from me. And there's no way he didn't see me come in, because I came in, because I'd have seen him come in, right? They finished, his daughter is also in the program. As soon as it's over, he gets up and he walks out that door so fast. And I'm like, isn't that just how...
Mighty white of you.
Yeah, mighty white.
That's mighty white of you.
Right.
I am going to tell you, Todd. But I was talking to Mike Quigley, and he was talking in the airport, and I kind of side-eye those guys all the time, right? Like, I always give them the side-eye. But when I was like, Congressman Quigley, blah, 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 blah. And so as we get to this conversation, he starts talking about how they just didn't get it, right? He was like, I really just didn't understand the role of patronage and what it meant to black people, and, how we went against Todd. And, he literally brought you up. And it was funny to me because, Todd, it's like they have created this caricature of black people. And I feel like when you talk to white folks, like the North Shore white folks, they think of us as watermelon seed spitting. I feel like in their minds,
like that cartoon.
Yes.
With Reconstruction.
Yes.
Our feet up on the desk, we're spitting water.
That is exactly how they think about our elected officials, and I'm scared that Mayor Lightfoot is taking on that thought process of us, and in the process creating a scenario where she is potentially setting up Council Wars 2020. Todd, I don't know how she keeps up at this pace and gets a budget passed. And these ethics reforms, who did she get on board? Boy, I sure would hate to be Gilbert Villegas right now.
I've seen plenty groups that will cut their own throat because they think that's the only thing they have to do to get reelected.
Commit suicide. Look, y'all, let's talk Chicago 1690. We'll be back. So one of the things you all have to be careful of, and I keep telling you this, what white folks will do is give you what you want. You want a black woman mayor, and then they will have, who are her influences? You gotta ask, who are her black influences? Y'all keep getting mad at me, but I keep asking for an answer. Who do we know that she knows that's black, that we trust, that we care about, right? And when you don't know that, then what you find yourself doing is making decisions. She's making decisions based on, I really feel like the way she's treating the alderman is how somebody white is like, put them niggas in check. You can roll roughshod over them. Somebody has dealt or managed aldermen before and is teaching her how to manhandle them. I think that for Lori Lightfoot, though, I think no man is going to do it. It's going to take a woman. It's going to take a woman to be like, hold on. Because a man can't do it. A man does it.
Well, I think two of our large, I should say, influential advisors on the city council are probably Dick Simpson and David Orr. They both there. They both have their own feelings about council and the people who are in it. I know they do. I think they're speaking the company line, basically. And the company line is probably exactly what we think it is. Don't put your trust in certain people, and those certain people, I'm guessing, tend to be from the south and west sides. It's we haven't ever really been a part of the group. I mean, the only time that we have dealt with the liberals and been on top is when Harold Washington was mayor.
Coloring in his blind. You cut.
Yeah.
Thank you, appreciate you. All right, we are going to adjust the speak.
How you gonna call me when I'm on air?
I'm sorry, man.
I'm saying, like,
I know.
I'm on the air doing the show. You come.
What this mofo doing? You know better than
I'm like, you calling me while I'm on the radio?
I'm sorry. I said, man, hey, how you doing? Man, good to see you again.
Hi, good to see you.
Yeah, I know you can slap me and I deserve it.
And I wouldn't do that. Okay, now I need you to come over this way. You can take a look up and then you can see how you're looking on the cameras.
Question for you, how's that chair?
Scoot over.
Far back?
Todd, scoot over just a little this way. Stop. You stop, Todd.
No, I'm stuck.
Okay.
I'm coming back.
All right, you need a chair that sits upright?
A little bit, yeah.
All right, let's change our chairs, Mr. Stronger. Well, move over.
No,
to
that chair
this
probably
chair.
will go up.
I don't know how to adjust those chairs.
Oh, you know what?
I know how to do it.
Wait.
I do it all the time. 'Cause I'm
Okay, good. Not on the little
Here
counter.
on that side.
It's the back part that's
Try
in the back.
the right side, all right?
Oh, there it is. Ooh.
All righty.
There.
Thank you, Mr. Stronger.
Well, when you're 5'6" and 3/4, you gotta know all the tricks.
Gonna get. Yeah, man, I went into a little panic. I was in the parking lot. I said, let me call him because it's getting close. I knew it. I said, if he's gonna cuss me, I said exact what you said. Man, don't call me while I'm on the radio. Don't call me. So I deserve that.
You know what?
Oh, hey, Ernie. You upset?
Some headphones over there. Plug that in.
Now, y'all know I be catching y'all.
Right there.
Yep.
Okay.
And with the silver knob, you can control the sound. That's kind of loud. You want to turn that down?
Okay.
That's gonna be tough one.
All right. Let me see. I follow another radio rule. Put my phone on mute or
You're right.
vibrate before I get cussed out again.
You didn't get cussed out.
Reprimanded.
I was just like, who is calling? I'm like, who is calling me? I'm like, now everybody and their mama know I'm on the air. I'm like,
it.
hey, you on your way here.
I deserve it.
Take a moment, share the broadcast, y'all. Take a moment, share the broadcast. Let's go. Deacon, someone cares because you're watching. Gee, it's hard to watch with the dick in your mouth. I cracked myself up. Okay. Now, I won't be back to YouTube for a minute. All right, y'all, take a moment, share the broadcast. Next up, we are going to be talking about violence in Chicago, the role that gangs play in the violence in Chicago with one of the most vocal advocates, Brother Ron Holt. Now, you know what? We ain't gonna we can pile in on Todd, because you know Brother Holt is also a member of the blue and white family as well. Todd be over there laughing and be like, yes, that's how. That's no, it's not very. Not when it's with the bros, man. You know, we show up in mass.
Well, in government, I'm usually never outnumbered.
I give you that. That explains why we so jacked up. You need some real men in there that ain't scared, some real men that will. You see the real men stand up and y'all be like,
we be dying off.
I got you. Yeah, when Madigan was like, when Madigan was like, it's time to round up the Negroes. Guess what? Guess who was in the posse? We got him, boss. We got him. Hey, and shoot, when they said it's time to round up the posse on you, your bros was like, well, boss, we gotta get him.
We gotta show it.
I can't hear you. I'm sorry. My whole world's upside down.
The inner conversation.
Sleep don't come.
I'll tell you,
Is it too loud for you?
No, it's good.
Okay. Since you've been gone, everything's going wrong. Watch, I have to say goodbye. Look what you've done to me.
Real old school.
I can't stop these tears from falling from my eyes. Ooh, baby, I'm going. You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Y'all know how we do. It's the top of the hour, so we got to say what's up to the WVON morning show team. What's up to Annette Flournoy in the newsroom, as well as the Wonder Twins, you better known as Sonia Tompkins and Sonia Escobar. Hey, it is Black Music Month, and today we are celebrating the musical legacy of the Queen of Hip Hop, Soul, Mary J. Blige. Now, y'all
Mary
stay
J. Blige
tuned.
has her own sound that always seems to work well when she does a remix. I mean, not a remix. What do you call it?
Remake.
A cover. Thank you, Sonia.
So you know, so you want to go to Sonia, huh? I got you.
Sonia gave me I knew I'd get the technical term.
The technical term.
Before I get the brother term.
You get the brother term. Right. And you know what? So, I am here to tell you that this is going to be, we got action-packed show. I'm looking forward to it. So right now, we're going to, well, let me back up. At 8:30, we are going to be talking to Todd Ricketts. Todd Ricketts from the Chicago Cubs, co-owner, as well as head fundraiser for Donald Trump, Trump 2020. Apparently, he is bringing in all of the Republican heavyweights into town for a retreat. Some of y'all have been out of shape because the Republicans are going to Wrigley Field. What did y'all think? Well, first of all, but my thing is, like, it's a public venue. People get to go everywhere. See, I'm telling y'all better stop doing this. Like, what do you think happens when they have an event at the Republican National Convention? It's at an arena. But anyway, we're going to talk about it because, you know, right now in this world, if you say Trump, you know, the white folks are got their panties in a bunch because they don't want to mess up their Trump and their Cubs because, you know.
I'm all anti-Trump, though.
Huh?
I'm all anti-Trump. But
that's what makes America great. That's what makes America great.
Don't say that.
Okay. So, yeah, but so that we've got Anton Exum. Anton Exum is a starting safety for the San Francisco 49ers. But, y'all, he's got a musical career. He's going to be here. Now, we waiting on Big O to get here as well. So, Big O should be here any minute. That's why the women are all doing their hair and getting all bumped up together. I'm telling you, it is. And then we got Pastor Corey Brooks coming in as well. So, we got so much. And Tom Vandenberg, my guy, will be here at 7:30. But right now, you know, I am going to say that the killing of Blair Holt, in my estimation, put the national spotlight on Chicago. And I don't think that since that moment, the spotlight has gone away on the violence issue in Chicago. I think from that moment, it was like, even though we may have heard about it, we may have seen it, I think it was all encapsulated in the loss of Blair Holt. Now, if you don't remember, Blair Holt was the honor student who was on the CTA bus and dived on one of his classmates to protect her from I want to say alleged or a convicted gang member.
Well, yeah.
Okay, a known gang member who got on the bus and started firing. Since that point, his father has been an advocate, has been on the front lines. And so as we move into this summer and we're talking about, we got a new mayor, new strategies, some old faces, I really want to talk about some of the root causes of violence. And when I was talking to Brother Holt, he was like, Maze, you got to understand the gang role in the violence that is happening in Chicago. Now, I used to remember, back in the day, it was, you was under the 5, you was under the 6, you know what I'm saying?
No, not really, but keep going.
See, Ty,
He starts throwing that stuff out, and I'm like, man, us regular folks don't know what you're talking about.
See, Chicago folks, he said that's regular folks. See, okay, you knew if you was folks, if you was people, you knew if you broke your hat to the left or you broke your hat to the right, you knew.
To live.
See, that's because it was so integrated into Chicago's culture. Yeah. It has been part of the framework of Chicago, both positive and negative, because some people say that it kept crack out of Chicago for a long time. But it has been fragmented. It has been broken up, and now we are seeing the results. Here to talk to us about it is our brother, former police commander, my frat brother, and see that tie, Blue Fire, shout out to all the men of Phi Beta Sigma all around the world tuned in today. Ron Holt. Ron, welcome to the WVON Morning Show. How are you, my brother?
I am doing well, Maze. Go mom for you and Todd.
Thank
you all for having me on the program.
We're gonna let Todd be today.
We supported Todd back in the day.
We all supported Todd. We all did. Ron, talk to me, man. What's going on with Chicago violence, man? You got firsthand experience. Talk to me what's happening. You're no longer with the Chicago Police Department. Right. You were a commander. How long were you with the police department?
I was 27 years. I retired April of last year. So I've been maybe a year or so out of being away from the Chicago Police Department as retired.
Okay, talk to me, man. What's going on?
Well, here's the thing. With the issue we talk about, why can't we tamp down on all of the shootings? And within the last several years, and even say to the credit of the current administration, police administration, and even before that, they've admitted that the police department can't do this alone. However, in my estimation, the reason that the police department can't get those numbers down or decrease them, reduce the shootings like they want to, Chicago is tragically unique these days, and probably for the past 10, 15 years or so, with an overwhelming gang membership on the street. And what I mean by that is we are probably the only big city that embarrassingly talk about having at least 100,000 up to 100,000 members of street gangs, known street gangs, to law enforcement, county, local, statewide as well. But in Chicago itself, 100,000, and that means it's a plethora of gang factions that have spawned from the major gangs that we talked about back in the day: GDs, BDs, Black P-Stones, TVLs, CVLs, La Raza, Satan Disciples, Four Corner Hustlers, Latin Kings, you name them, the Imperial Gangsters, Mafia Insane Vice Lords. These are historical gangs. What they did with the breakdown of our communities, especially the black communities, the deconstruction of our neighborhoods, the gentrification of our neighborhoods, and then you had the tear down of the projects, where a lot of the gangs back in the day, and I believe you and Todd know this, there was they were concentrated, okay? So what happened is, once those jets got torn down, these gangs, they moved into the neighborhoods as well. Now, they started to live closer to one another. They started living closer to one another. And the gang factions pretty much were born out of that, all the way down to a certain gang faction holding down a block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, 4 blocks, 5 blocks, a mile, or whatever.
Now talk to me about holding down a block. How do you hold down a block? Like, how does a gang literally hold down a block where there are residents that pay and have police and all of that? How does that happen?
Let's say if Pookie then came from someplace else and now he's living on 71st Street, 71st and Exchange or something like that, and then just across from there, 75th Street, you got another gang member who's an established gang over there. Their boys come and hang with them, pretty much. They show their face, they show their love, they show who they are, they represent. They're riding around and see who the ops are. They want to see who's close to them and who's around them and who they're gonna have to deal with moving forward.
So let me stop you right there, because I gotta go to traffic and the weather, and then when we come back, because I want to talk about that, and then I want to talk about how do neighborhoods deal with this, because y'all, it's an internal and an external problem. Plus, you know, we got a problem because it seems like there's 2 narratives as it relates to the police. One, we want no police because they shooting and killing us, and then there's the seniors who like lock everybody up. How do we get to a place where the police and the community are working together to make sure that our young people don't become part of the system? We'll talk about it all when we come back.
More of the morning show.
There's something made that I have to point out when we come back, and this is gonna blow your mind. This is why I bought this book here. And I recommend
What's the book?
you all buy this.
Okay, so move it over.
This is the 2018 Chicago Crime Commission, the gang book. It is pretty much the Bible of to let you know the gangs that are in Chicago currently, and it goes. They print this every year, and this one has been the best one. This gets 5 stars. You can buy it on Amazon. It costs $50, but it's worth the investment.
Is it real though? Like, is it real information? And who's compiling?
Who's compiling? That's a great question. It's Chicago Police Department's Gang Investigation Division, Cook County Sheriff's Department officers, the Chicago Crime Commission research analysts. You also have information, and I'll read this. This is their disclaimer. The information contained in this report was obtained from various sources within and outside of law enforcement. All right? They put all their disclaimers in here. This is a compilation book. The accuracy in it is what is spot on. It may not be 100%, but I guarantee you it's in the 95 to 98 percentile accurate, because what will blow your mind, and you remember when you asked me, hey man, come down and talk about it based off that text I sent you, I misspoke. I was speaking from 2009 gang book. In here, I counted it last night. I said there was 56 gang factions. That was misinformation. 56 known gangs that spawned over 2,000 gang factions citywide. That's why I have this clip right here. I looked at it myself, blew my freaking mind. I was like, oh my God, this is the reason why the police can't tamp down. Now, some of the gang factions have larger numbers than others, okay? And some of them are operational. Some of them are not operational in that they may have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 members, as opposed to Four Corner Hustlers. They got thousands. They have thousands.
Right.
So when I looked at this last night, and I was making sure, Todd, that I was doing the math, and I said, is this for real? So I went to the almighty Google search, and I just typed in known gang factions to the Chicago Police Department 2018 in the city of Chicago. It came up just pretty much what was put in here. Over 2,000 gang factions. 2,000. when I did the math last night, 2040.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think that by decapitating the traditional structure, do you think by, because I felt like what we moved to, it used to be Chicago was the most organized city, and then it moved to, like, we became clicked up like everybody else. Like New York became like crews instead of like completely.
Well, they've been reduced to cliques, sex, crews, things of that nature. But overall, they just for the sake of language, they call them gang factions.
Okay, we're coming back. It's my Mary, Mary, you told me 1,000 times that you would be mine, oh mine, doing a thing for you. But when you smile, I still can't find. Will you tell me this? This is something that I miss. All you want to do is to love me for me. And if loving you is wrong, that I have to do. I don't want to do anything else. No. But loving you is all that I have to do. I don't want to do anything else. Oh, no. Maybe. You are tuned into the Top of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. And Todd, we are talking to Ron Holt. Ron is a 20-plus year police veteran. 27? 27-year police veteran, former police commander. You know him because his son was tragically murdered by a Chicago gang member on a CTA bus while he was protecting one of his classmates. Ron.
Well, Mace, I can say I literally saw what the commander's talking about in our neighborhood off of Cottage Grove. The projects went down, the new people came in, and all of a sudden there was shootings. You know, I'm talking somewhere between 2001 and 2005. There were shootings galore between 79th and 83rd Maryland over in that neighborhood. And it was the new people fighting the old people. And in this case, the new people won, and they took over the area, even though they were in the same bigger gang.
So help me understand, Ron, how this works. You know, you said, I feel like right now the narrative on the police has been hijacked, right? I feel like what we're talking about is real, but nobody wants to really acknowledge it because that is happening against the backdrop of a Jason Van Dyke, of a cop pulling up and saying, I kill MFs and all of that. Talk to me about how do we deal with this? How many factions did you say there were?
I said there are at least, according to the Chicago Crime Commission book, the gang book, I computed it last night, 2,040 gang factions spawned from the historical and traditional gangs that have been in Chicago for the last 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And when I saw the numbers, put them together last night from what I was reading, I said, this has got to be accurate because I matched it up with searching those numbers as well via the Chicago Police Department. And it was even corroborated in my search last night that they said over 2,000 gang factions. That is a lot for one city, for one major city like Chicago. It would blow your mind if you can buy this book, look at it online or something like that. It's like the Bible of that. But when you talk about how do we combat that, how do we deal with it, you need police officers who are going to, when they deal with the gangs, they have to know who they're dealing with, Mason Todd. Okay, they just can't brazenly do a blanket of every person on the block, on the streets, walking up and down the streets, and assume with some kind of prejudice or bias that this guy is a gang member, that guy is a gang member. The operative word is they have to be a known gang member to police. In other words, there had to have been some interaction in there in the past.
But didn't we just try to get rid of that with the gang database? Isn't that what the gang database was supposed to do? And it seemed like it became a tool of the CPD to kind of like limit people for life.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah, and I will agree with you in that the gang database can be unfair, and I know because I have a nephew who was put in there unfairly simply because he had a friend who was a gang member, and there was no way of getting him out of that. And I would even say, even to the police department, there should be a way that if a person can prove that they're not a gang member to the Chicago Police Department, and if their name is in there, that it should be removed. That's just a matter of going into the computer and changing it, and changing how the computer works with that program. But by the same token, Chicago Police Department, they need to focus on how they're going to deal with individuals like that and how they're going to deal with the shootings. The shootings is key, and most of the shootings that occur in Chicago, and the police department has admitted it. And I'm not a spokesman for the Chicago Police Department. I want to say that. I'm not a spokesman. It's just from my experience alone that they can't do this alone. They need to tamp down on them in a different type of manner, because they make up, the shootings in Chicago make up at least 50% of the shootings are gang related, if you will.
Now, Ron, talk to me though, because people say we talk about the gangs, but why do I feel like in some of our communities we feel like the police are the largest gang? I'm gonna give you an example. I have Mays Jackson personally have had Chicago police officers literally put guns to my head and my employees, and at that point I'm like, man, the last thing I want to do is call a police officer, even if something bad happens to me, because I feel like it could happen to me again. How do we deal with the fact of and I hear so many times people say, well, it's not all the cops aren't bad. But how do you get over that hump when most of our interactions with police have not been necessarily positive?
And I will say, when I do a lot of that Facebook stuff, and whenever I mention the gangs and say, this is a problem, it's affected all of us, even if we don't see them every day in some fashion. Somebody just got shot down the street from you. People always bring up the police as, well, what about the police? They're a gang.
Right, they're doing it right now. As you're talking right now, people like, but the police are the biggest gang. How many gang factions are in the police? How do we get over the hump? Like, how do we get to a point where we all recognize that there are shootings, killings, everything happening, and it's happening to us?
Well, again, you have to understand, unfortunately, the black community is overrun by gangs, okay? When I say that, individuals who are members of street gangs, of crews, cliques, and what have you, unlike what you might see in white communities. I mean, even in Latino communities, you have large, huge numbers of gang members within that community. I don't know if it has anything to do with economics, education, the environment, lack thereof of education, home life.
I think it's all of it, and that's why you mentioned it, because
yeah,
it is all of it.
It is, and then the other thing too, you all, the police have to be better trained in how they are going to deal with and approach individuals in our communities. Because let's face it, you have police officers you have men and women who have never who become police officers who have never patrolled in the black community, never probably had any real interaction with black Chicago, and then when they become police officers, who knows? Do they have a different perspective? Do they come into it with a prejudice or a bias or some racial animus?
Well, you know what? That's all stuff that we got to talk about. You know what? Ron, I don't know if so check this out. Now I'm about to add to the conversation, because we got Tom Vandenberg that'll be joining us when we come back. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this. We'll talk about gangs. We're also going to add guns into the conversation, the role of guns, because you got this Fix the Void program that is up now. But I always wonder, like, we keep putting new laws on the people that's going to sign up. I want to deal with the people that ain't dealing with it, are not. But let's talk about it all when we come back. It's Talk Chicago 1690 AM. Oh, Tom, what's up, man?
How are you? Thank you.
Tom and I go way, way, way back.
Welcome,
my friend. Welcome, my friend.
Thank you.
Get him a seat.
Well, you know, the old people like me, they say, good
Yeah, he
to
can
be
stay.
seen.
All right, let's play musical cheers here. There we go. You can have a seat that time. Right.
So why don't you put Todd, you want to be in the middle?
No. I don't like being squeezed.
Okay. And you not from Cook County, man. All right, Ryan, sit down. Tom, come over just a little.
Well,
Cool.
just a little because
Cool. So you can see us. Turn around.
we're not on TV.
You're on Facebook Live and YouTube.
Oh my God,
So-
I thought after that I would have combed my hair. Freshened up a little bit.
Tom, it's not, what is it now? The back?
GPAC.
Okay, GPAC.
And Gun Violence Prevention Action Committee.
Okay, so you'll
and
talk about that.
Yeah,
So, Quasi, so some of my, I got a lot of black gun owners
I know.
on my team.
I know.
That, you said I got my
I know.
761st.
Yeah.
We believe that we should have the rights.
Oh, I know. Absolutely.
You and Shaw.
Huh?
Shaw, you, Shaw, and Cliff.
Sheesh. Man, let me tell you what.
Three. You're the big gun guys.
But no, there's a lot of big gun guys now, and I'm not actually.
Oh no, I'm in on here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you guys, I met Tom way back at was it UCAN?
Yeah.
And Tom ran one of the largest social service agencies. But while I was there, they released a mixtape. And I met a young man named Fred who was in foster care, was adopted, but they did a mixtape. Tom gave them, they got funded and they did a mixtape and they went on tour around the world. And this was right after we had done the Sprite mixtape. And I actually watched, like when I talk about outcomes, when you talk about outcomes, we actually saw real outcomes. And now to see Fred is now like the number 2 at the agency that he grew up in, and now he's like their head of governmental affairs. So now you see him down in Springfield passing legislation up in the city doing it, and since that, you find people that really put their money where their mouths were. And Tom actually, I went to some fundraisers, and Tom would be at these fundraisers at these houses that look like museums, and he would get all these rich white people to give stupid amounts of money to help black young people. But, it wasn't the traditional patriarchal thing that I talk about, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna be like your savior. What I saw was him empowering people. And then when he helped push a tremendous amount of funding through and built one of the largest facilities. I don't even know what you call it. They built a campus.
You got a campus.
But
yeah.
they built a
Have you
campus.
seen it? Have you been there?
I have driven past it.
Okay.
I have not toured it, but they built a campus on the west side that was state of the art. And then after he did it, he passed it on to a brother and turned it over to 2. He mentored and then put the agency, instead of passing the agency on to a kid or something like that, he put the agency back in the hands of people who grew it. And to see now Fred, my friends are my friends, y'all. I just do what I do. And when you see people that put it down. Give them an opportunity. I don't know if we're gonna agree on this conversation, but
Well,
we're
we
gonna
always agree on everything.
Can we hit the? Oh no, we got a minute. We got a minute. So, guys, this is Tom Vandenberg. You know what? Actually, and quite frankly, remember when I told you all I was working with? Remember I told you some history about when I was working with a lot of people from the ex-offender community who were returning home, who were getting in. Tom actually put a lot of those guys who may have been perpetrators of gun violence into the program, as well, as far as having them being in speaking engagements,
We
etc.
now have 40 people on the ground in that community, ex-offenders, people working with the youth now.
See, so we have to, like, here's the lick, yo. Tom can shake them trees, and people respond, and man, he can shake trees like a lot of us can't shake no trees and get to some trees that we can't get to.
And the fruit drops.
And the fruit comes down, and the best part is that he passes the fruit on to the brothers to go do what they need to do. So I thought it was awesome that when he decided to step down, that he pulled up Claude, right? And
Claude's the Executive Vice President of External Affairs.
got it. Who's number one? Who's it?
Fred is Vice President for fundraising.
Fred
He
does
stepped from government affairs
Hey,
to
so that's
working with
so,
the rich people.
So,
now. And he's doing a bang-up job.
So
How long is the program going?
we're gonna do we'll go to 8 o'clock. Get your headphones. There's work to do. Real close to you. You in the mood all day. You want to do. Just relax, and I'll take care of you anytime you want me. I'm betting that you love you every day, and I know that you'll give me, baby, admit it. And give me all your love and don't stop. My love's waiting till you reach the top all night long. Come into my bedroom, honey. What I got will make you spend money all night. You are tuned in to the Top of Chicago 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, in the building, y'all.
I didn't realize I was Mary J. Blige.
Todd. See, man.
I mean, I like the song, but I just never knew it was her.
What?
Yeah,
Who did you think it was?
Strange but true. Some lady.
So, that is why you are the co-host of the WVON Morning Show. That is Todd Stroger, y'all, former Cook County Board President. Before we went to break, we were talking to former police commander and father of gun violence and gang violence, victim of gang violence, Blair Holt, who died saving the life of one of his classmates. We have Ron Holt, and then we have now joining the conversation a longtime friend and associate. Knew him from the social service world, one of the top fundraisers, but also mentors of young, well, I can't say Fred, you ain't young no more. Claude, you ain't young no more. Upwardly, but they are definitely upwardly mobile black folks in the social service space. Tom Vandenberg. Now, Tom, you run, what is your organization now? GPAC, am I correct?
Yeah, we have a Gun Violence Prevention Action Committee. We have a Gun Violence Prevention Action Committee. We have GPAC, which is an actual PAC. We have a super PAC, and then we also started a nonprofit organization called GPEC, which is Gun Violence Education Committee. So we've focused, brought all these organizations together with one reason and one purpose, and that is to work on the disproportional homicide rate in the city of Chicago of young black men and women.
Nah, Tom, you're not trying to take my guns, and I'm gonna tell you, man. I get nervous when a white guy come in telling me I got to stop the violence, take the black people's guns. I'm nervous, man. You're making me nervous.
That's good. The whole purpose of this is to get illegal guns off of the streets.
Okay.
9 out of 10 guns that are taken away and confiscated in the city of Chicago are illegal guns.
Okay.
That come from the legal gun market. Okay. Every gun that is produced, processed, is legal at one point, right?
Okay.
Then they get into the illegal gun market.
Okay.
All right?
Now, how do they get there?
They get there because there are not effective laws tracking the legal gun market. Responsible gun owners like you follow the law, right? But there's so many loopholes in it that we've worked on, and we're working on closing the loopholes for illegal guns. Case in point, the gun bill that we passed, SB 337 last year, was to focus on those bad gun dealers that allow, straw purchasing.
Now, what do you mean? How do they allow straw purchasing? Like, explain that to me.
Well,
what is a straw purchase?
Let's say your girlfriend has a FOID card and you don't.
Okay.
So you go into the gun dealer and you say, I want, you name the assault weapons that you want, 50 of them, and your girlfriend purchases them. And then you load up your car, your trunk, and then you go into the community and sell them.
Yeah, but then
legal.
How's that perfectly legal? Because she just put her name on all them guns. So she won't get in trouble.
She won't get in trouble because we don't have a real process system of when that gun is purchased and who does it go to next. So the next loophole that we close, right?
Right.
Is to make sure every sale of gun is processed through a legal federal licensed dealer. So then you have the tracing, and then you can hold people accountable and responsible, and you don't have to do that now.
Okay, so
and back to the gun dealers themselves, right? They didn't have to report suspicious happenings. They didn't have cameras to oversee who those purchasers might be. So that's the first loophole we closed. The next one is fixing the FOID card.
Now, help me and tell me what you did to fix the FOID card.
We didn't do anything yet.
And what are you trying to do?
We're trying to get fingerprinting. We're trying to get 5-year renewal.
Dang, man.
I know.
Okay,
I
now.
know. And guess what else? We increased the cost from $1 a year to $4 a year. Can you afford it?
No.
You
guys seem to want to just tax us all the time. Everything is just take money out of our pockets.
Now let me. I started this idea with $250 for 5 years, right? So then you really would have been outraged, but
then it wouldn't have been no downstate legislators that would ever got reelected.
The caucus, the Black Caucus,
yes,
led by Art Turner, pleaded the case. We came down to $20 for 5 years.
Shout out to Art Turner. That's my cousin, y'all.
Yes.
That's my shout out to cousin Art, cause I'm gonna tell you, Art got a collection. Don't walk up in his house. I'm gonna tell you, but they all legit and legal. Now I'm gonna tell you, Tom. One of the things that I'm a proud honorary member of the 761st Gun Club, and one of the things that we talked about in our meeting, and our fearless leader Kwesi Amoah has been talking about, is this fingerprinting thing is really something that's been slipped in by the fingerprinting industry to mandate us all having to pay additional money. Talk to me about that, man. What's up with that? Because you know how these tricky guys are. They like, oh, there's a new law going on. How can we get rich off of it? Is that true?
I don't know.
So Tom, tell me, what do the fingerprints do? When they take our fingerprints for our FOID, what does it do?
If you recall the shooting that happened in Aurora, the individual who applied for the FOID card,
yes,
was approved. But when he applied for his concealed carry, he was fingerprinted, and then it was found out that he had a criminal record.
Mm.
So what happens is, in the present system of application,
Okay.
there is no attention to the criminal background record. In other words, you can get it through because you state that you do not have a criminal record.
So why do so
Maybe.
many people get rejected?
Mate, I got fingerprinted for a securities license, an insurance license, for a business license. I don't think it's gonna hurt you.
Hey man, I don't
You
want the
probably
government.
have it fingerprinted already anyway.
You know what?
right? So we just take that up, right?
So does it pick up? See, but I don't want them all in my fingerprints because then they be all in my business, man. I left some of that stuff behind.
Excuse me, they're not in your business now?
You're right.
Excuse me. Do you think they don't know already? I mean, Facebook is in your business.
Man,
right?
they so
know
far.
everything.
Now, Tom, when we come
But
back.
I just think it is to try to close that loophole of people who, it is the, should we call it 5%, 10%, who are violators, who don't live up to the law like you do, that we don't have sensible gun laws to keep it out of the hands of bad guys who are causing the problem.
It just seems to me, Tom, that they say that, but it seems like every time I hear the story on the national news, they're always saying, you know what, this guy purchased it legally. He went through the process. When we come back, Tom, we're going to continue this conversation. But the other thing I want to talk about is guns and weed, right? Guns and weed, because it seems like is the way that they're setting up the marijuana laws a way to keep black people from getting guns? Because, you know, if you get a cannabis card, then you can't have a concealed carry card. Is this another plot? Is it a conspiracy to keep guns away from black people who want to protect themselves? Hold that thought. We'll get it when we come back. It's Talk Chicago 1690. All right, guys, if you have questions on Facebook Live, I will ask Ron and Tom. Tell me, guys, between the two of you all, the intersection. So first of all, how do you guys know each other?
Well,
The brotherhood, we're part of the brotherhood.
Now tell me about that brotherhood that the two of you all are a part
I
of.
met Tom. Blair was killed May 10th, 2007. And after that, and to your point really quick, after Blair's death, the phrase was his death sparked. It was the spark that lit the flame in the Chicago area for people to pay attention to gun violence and the victims and things and survivors. In that interim, I don't know when in that interim that Tom and I met, and he was running UCAN.
Was running UCAN at the time.
I don't know where we met, how we met, but we did meet, and we've known each other ever since, what, 2007, 2008 or something like that, Tom?
Yeah, because I also ran another organization called Help for Survivors.
So go back,
Victims
because
of
you
gun
all are,
violence, so, yeah.
because you guys are in a brotherhood. Because what is the brotherhood that the two of you all
Brotherhood
are?
is fathers who've lost their sons to gun violence.
Yep.
So you lost your son, Ron, to gun violence. Tom, you got into this movement because you actually lost a son to gun violence. Explain that.
1992.
What happened?
15-year-old son. I lived in Evanston.
In Evanston?
Yeah.
Okay.
It happened in Rogers Park.
Okay.
I lived in Evanston. He had buddies that he was going to go to this party he was invited to because he was doing a DJing kind of thing.
Okay.
And he was at this party, and some gangbanger types came in and started shooting, and he got caught in that crossfire. 15 years old.
Okay.
So that's a few years back.
How, and this is to both of you, my son, right? He is, my son and my daughter, they are like the apples of my. How do you first survive it? Then how do you go from that to continuing to live and not to be like want to murder everybody?
Well,
I do.
Okay.
I don't want to murder everybody.
You know what?
Particularly the gun manufacturers that spread out these guns so our little youth of color can get killed because of the gun manufacturers who allow this dealing to happen. That's the conspiracy.
And
sorry, Ron.
no, that's okay, Tom. That's quite all right. No, the other thing is, see, you said, how do we get through it? It's a day-to-day endurance. You never get over it. Don't let people tell you that, oh, you'll get over it. It'll pass. No, it never passes when you lose someone to such a despicable and horrible act of gun violence. Someone that was close to you, someone that you truly loved and spent time and quality time with. You don't get over it. You learn to endure that emotional pain and that loss, and then you build on that. And I guarantee you that a lot of people who have lost innocent children to gun violence, innocent loved ones to gun violence, they have created foundations in their loved one's name in hopes to keep their spirit alive. I remember Reverend Jesse Jackson told me at the funeral, do what's necessary to keep Blair's spirit alive and what he loved to do, and extend that out into the community.
Okay, we're back, guys. You should never fake it. Say what's on your mind, and you'll find in time that all the negative energy, it will all see. And you'll be at peace with yourself. You won't really need no one else except for the man up above. I do. My life, look into my... You are tuned in to the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Todd, you all right over there, man?
Oh, yeah, I'm just chilling.
And then we have in the building, we have Ron Holt, father of Blair Holt, face of it. His son was really the catalyst that brought the attention to Chicago. And then I got my guy, Tom Vandenberg. Tom is with GPAC, G, a lot of stuff, but it all has to do with gun. And so are you a gun prevention organization, Tom?
I'd like to say we're a gun violence prevention organization, and that is, I want to protect the rights of responsible owners, responsible gun owners. I think that's very important to me. So what we work on and what we focus on is the issue of responsible gun ownership and getting rid of the illegal gun process. And frankly, okay, when I got involved with this, my son was killed in 1992. I was, how you cope with this craziness, we talked about a little offline. It ain't easy, all right? But I eventually got to focus my anger, if you will, on a system that allowed illegal guns in the hands of bad folks and young people who don't take any sense of responsibility for it.
Let me freeze you right there. Issue. So, because when we were offline, you talked about a conspiracy. You said I said in case somebody got murdered, you do want to murder the gun manufacturers and the industry. Oftentimes when we talk about drugs, we talk about the local outcome as compared to the industry. And I always hear people like, we ain't got no boats, we don't have no planes flying them in. Talk to me about the role of the industry in creating this cycle of death. And then Ron, I want you to piggyback off of that and talk to me, do you actually believe this conspiracy exists?
When you talk about conspiracy, okay, it's not like something out of the sky. It's, if you're manufacturing a particular product, right? A product. You're pretty smart. You know how many to produce, right? And you know where they sell, and you know who buys them, correct? Don't you?
Yes.
Figure out that?
Yeah, that's called analytics. Everybody's
got
that.
Analytics. These are smart businessmen, right? So back in the 70s, the NRA was hijacked, if you will, by the manufacturers. They took it over. In other words, they became the board members, and they began to understand the process of marketing and distribution of guns. So the NRA was very careful in working very hard to make sure that there wasn't really good, sensible gun laws to keep illegal guns out of the hands of young folks and criminals and bad folks that want to use those guns for wrong purposes. So that's how you allow the industry, that's how you allow guns to flow to a marketplace. And where do you sell them to? Who do you direct them to? Well, what you do is you get a lot of fear going, don't you? Remember, the worst thing that's happening right now actually is Trump is elected, because the gun owners and the conspiracy people are like, well, he's going to protect our guns so we don't have to go out and buy them. When Obama was elected, guess what happened? Gun sales went way up. Because everybody was afraid, and they're going to take my guns away. So
No, you know,
that's a long conspiracy, and it's very involved. But you understand, manufacturers have to sell guns.
That's the best explanation I've ever heard. Usually people just tell me, in the 70s, the NRA went crazy, and I never really knew why.
Well, but
now
that
you explained
it seems to me like that is kind of what you do. You infiltrate, you take over, and then you change the policy. Now, I want to connect I want to connect this manufacturer to the gun shop owner, right? That then has the straw purchaser. Then how does it get to the point where Ron Blair is assaulted with this weapon?
Well, hypothetically and realistically speaking, we don't know where the gun came from that the youngster used. It was a .40 caliber, a semi-automatic that he used to shoot up the bus.
That's a pretty big gun, right?
Yes.
A .40 cal is like, that goes through stuff.
Yeah,
like, that's a tank gun.
Yeah, and so, and then even then during the trial, in the police investigation, the firearm was not recovered, but we didn't need that, because we had this guy on camera. The CTA bus had him on camera, and the currency exchange had him on camera getting on the bus and actually shooting the gun. So who knows where that gun came from, where it was purchased, was it purchased legally or illegally? Because gangs have overwhelmingly connections to straw purchasers who can buy guns and then get those guns for.
Help me understand this, guys. Why do we see the outcome of the guns in our community equaling like the levels of murder that we're seeing? And it seems like I also see white kids in the suburbs with them. Why does it seem like it translates to murder in our community, Tom? So often.
I had a friend of mine who was in public health, and she put a diagram together, I suspect. And when you look at certain communities where the unemployment rate is, 50%, when you have the educational rate that is low because kids drop out of school, they don't make it from 8th grade to high school, then they're not working. When you look at housing discrimination, when you look at issues in our communities of color, right? You have a lot of dysfunction, family dysfunction, you have a lot of youth uncared for, and you have a lot of anger, don't you, in those communities? And guess what? That's like a gasoline, and then guess what? The gun is a spark, a match. Boof. Okay? There's a lot of trauma that you're dealing with, and so now this shot spreads to another shot of trauma, and then I've got to get my revenge, and guess what's available? A gun instead of a knife or a fist or a rope or whatever. Okay?
And I'm going to stop you right there. Guys, look, I want to keep this conversation going, so if you can hang out with us, we'll let you keep coming. I think we got Corey Brooks that should be here any minute now as well, who is doing work over at Project Hood. They got the boxing gloves out now. They got kids outside boxing out back. I got Tom Vandenberg, I got Ron Holt, plus my man Ty Stroger. Look, y'all, we'll be back after traffic, news, and the weather. So I want to finish this conversation, huh? What and good Lord, what if Big O comes? We gonna be jam slam packed.
Yeah, because he takes a man and a half.
Right.
He's pretty big.
So, one of the things that I'm going to leave this with you.
Okay, you can finish. I want to. You got a hot second, so we can just put a bow on this conversation at least.
Yeah, this has to do with the disproportionality of homicide rate amongst young people of color.
So I'm just telling you, when you come to WVON, we don't do a lot of people of color here.
Okay.
We do a lot of black, right? And I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, this is black homicide.
So I think that oftentimes, and I tell you with our audience, I didn't get you on air, but with our audience, they want black is not a bad word. They want to hear it, and quite frankly, if that's what the study says, bust the people of color. Put that to the camera real quick. Turn it around. See, this is the camera.
Oh.
Yeah.
I will plug this a little
Hey,
bit.
Todd, is there
Okay.
another chair
Okay.
that sits a little higher?
I'm sorry.
Is there another chair that sits a little
Oh,
You can
Isn't there a little-
Man, it's hey bro, let me tell you, you better get it up.
Stand up and first.
This is urban radio.
I see.
What we need to do is get time to do fundraising for us. Then we can get us some new chairs.
Hey,
You
Maze,
make a lot of money here, don't you? No.
to Tom's point, and
Hey y'all, hey guys, hey. Tom said, look, I'm gonna turn the camera around.
In fact, Maze,
Tom said you guys make a lot of money here, don't you? And he said it with a super straight face.
Wow. I am open to all opinions and comments.
I would like for you to just add on to what you made.
Okay.
Right to love and family.
That is funny.
picture of Madigan.
Yes. King Madigan.
You know,
Madigan.
he passed to fix the fix.
Yes, we know. We know. Yeah, he
But
also.
he got shot down in
Huh?
the Senate, you know.
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you this
You can get passed to the Senate.
this
Because of
this. No, not because of me. And nobody likes me.
I know. I love you.
It's alright though. They it's like they can love me or hate me, but they gotta listen now.
You gotta do
Yeah,
this.
you don't gotta love me no more. It's like you can wake up and you'll be on the frying
That's
pan.
because you don't sugarcoat your opinion.
That's my point.
You
And
don't-
everybody
you
is
don't sugarcoat it.
politically correct. So
Mhm.
they tried to
Yeah.
destroy my credibility. They
Mhm.
tried to put every group against me.
Yeah.
Black folks been like, man, stand up for the black people, and the people get your back. Where's Corey?
We didn't hear nobody come in, sir.
That's online. I'm gonna write that down. Can I pull that offline?
Yeah, look up the Violence Policy Center.
Yeah.
They're the folks
Yeah.
and I've worked with them for some time.
Okay.
actually.
Violence Policy Center. Okay.
Well, and that's the
Yeah.
other thing is,
Hmm?
that's the other thing I realized, that because my son was black, he was killed. Because
Mm-hmm.
if he was a white kid, less likely it happened.
Right,
You know
completely.
that, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
To me, there's
So
a
that's a racism.
yeah.
But it's institutional racism. That's what the whole problem of discussing the issue of race. We don't talk about institutional racism, how these things are embedded in the society and how they don't work, okay? Because I can get, blasted sometimes because of my opinion on unions and because, people on the left are supposed to support all the unions, right?
Right.
Some of your unions are the most racist organizations that are, like FOP, for instance,
Mhm.
okay?
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, they be like, kill him.
And
Even though it's a small percentage of those cops, right?
Mhm.
They're protected.
They're protected, and I'll tell you what.
And that's unhealthy.
Had Jason Van Dyke been a black officer?
Yeah, no shit. What would happen to him?
Who? You think FOP would have stepped up the way they did?
I think they would now feel like they have to.
At that point, But my point is, we talked before about FOP.
You should meet with these guys.
Be happy to.
You should
Happy to.
meet with them because they did not have a lot of they got in big on the Fix the Ford. And they have a very significant presence. Man, they got like 150 people coming to their meetings. Police, veterans, all of that.
You have my information.
I will connect you. Quasi, you watching?
Yes, she is. So you have his information. Have you called him, Corey?
I just texted him.
Okay.
So wait, you're going tonight with a guest?
I hope. I'm trying to get my wife out. If not, I'll bring Hans. How well does he have to dress?
I mean, you know, Corey's gonna have the range. That'll be the range. How old is he?
19.
Yeah. Okay, so y'all, we're gonna have a VON table, so
Okay,
don't
cool.
fake.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm coming.
You said
I
that
just
about my
thought
birthday
about the
party.
dress that I don't get dressed.
You said about
I'm
my
not
birthday party. You didn't
No,
come.
I was at a funeral. Remember? I was at a funeral. And I go to a funeral now.
All right, I'm gonna give y'all both the opportunity to put a bow on your conversations. Tell people how they can follow up, support you, find you.
Rise and shine with the WVON Morning Show.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Featuring Maze Jackson.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
The WVON Morning Show.
Y'all know nothing about that? Oh, let love us true and through, and though we made it through the storm, I really want you to realize, I really want to put you on. I've been searching for someone to satisfy my every need. Won't you be my inspiration, be the real love that I need, real love. I'm searching for a real love, someone to